The Whispering Forest, Story of Riya and Shadow. In the pitch-dark night, the forest echoed only with the sounds of rustling leaves and distant howls. There were trees all around, tall, ancient, and eerily silent. Riya, a 25-year-old girl, sat at the base of an old oak, shivering. Her clothes were damp from the evening rain, hair tangled, and eyes wide with fear. The only soul with her was Shadow. Her loyal dog curled beside her protectively. "What do we do now?" "Shadow," Riya whispered, her voice barely audible as she held him tightly. Shadow looked up at her with his deep brown eyes, as if trying to reassure her. Riya began to remember how it all started. She was with her family on a weekend trip to the famous Maple Ridge National Park. Everyone was enjoying themselves at the forest retreat, where bonfires and music lit up the evening. But somehow, while taking a short walk with Shadow, Riya lost her way. The trails all started to look the same. She called out, but the music and voices from the campsite were too far to hear her. She tried to trace back, but soon darkness took over. Now she was in the heart of a dense, unknown part of the forest, with no map, no phone signal, and no signs of people. Suddenly she noticed something strange. The wind had stilled. The trees weren't swaying anymore. It was as if the forest itself was watching her. Then the ground beneath her seemed to tremble slightly. Shadow let out a low growl. Riya turned her flashlight to the ground and saw strange markings forming on the dirt, like someone or something had just walked there. Far away, a flickering yellow glow shimmered through the trees. Could that be a campfire, Riya wondered? She shouted, "Hello! Is anyone Hello? Is anyone there?" But her voice echoed strangely, coming back to her in a warped, eerie tone. Shadow barked again, louder, this time more agitated. Then slowly, as if guided by invisible hands, the wind picked up and pushed her in a certain direction. Through bushes, past thick roots, across a shallow stream, until she saw it, a small, ancient cabin overgrown with moss, sitting in a clearing. Riya stepped forward cautiously, Shadow beside her. Just before she knocked on the door, Shadow ran to the side, barking at something near a large stone. "What is it?" Shadow. Riya followed him. Near the stone was an old wooden sign, half buried in mud. She wiped it and read, "Those who entered this forest were never seen again." A chill ran down her spine. She turned around, and the path she had come from was gone. Completely her legs trembled. Everything was silent except the rustling leaves and her own heartbeat. She followed Shadow to the front of the cabin and slowly pushed the door open. Inside it was dark, filled with old furniture, torn curtains, and a strange, earthy smell. She lit a candle she found on the table and saw an old wooden chest in the corner. Inside were dusty papers written in shaky handwriting. "If you are reading this, you are trapped too. This forest does not let you go. Something here sees you, but you can't see it." Riya's hands shook. Shadow whimpered. She read on. "The more afraid you are, the closer it gets. The only way out is through understanding its truth." Just then she heard a voice outside, a human voice. "Help! Is someone out there?" She ran out of the cabin, the candles still flickering. Shadow ran alongside her. The voice sounded familiar, too familiar. She followed it until she reached a clearing lit by moonlight. There, sitting on a tree stump, was herself, soaking wet, disheveled, frightened. Another Riya. "What? What is this?" she stammered. Shadow barked furiously. The other Riya looked up and began fading slowly like mist. "Wait!" Riya cried and ran toward the image, but it vanished. Riya dropped to her knees, exhausted and terrified. Shadow started pawing at the ground again. There was another paper buried there. "You're close." The shadow was only a guide. "Where she disappeared, you will find the truth." Riya looked at the exact spot. The ground shimmered faintly, like moonlight bouncing off invisible water. She took a deep breath and stepped into the glowing circle. Suddenly, she felt herself falling. Riya looked at the exact spot. The ground shimmered faintly, like moonlight bouncing off invisible water. She took a deep breath and stepped into the glowing circle. Suddenly, she felt herself falling. But she didn't hit the ground. She opened her eyes and found herself in a vast glowing cave beneath the forest floor. The walls were covered with glowing vines. There was no sound except faint footsteps. "Is someone there?" she called. From the shadows, an old man appeared, with white hair and a wooden staff. "You shouldn't have come this far, child," he said. "Who are you? Where am I?" he sighed. "This forest traps those who don't understand it, but it releases those who prove they are worthy." You must pass a test, a trial of the spirit. Riya steadied herself. What kind of trial? He pointed to the wall where a vine curled to form the first. You're in the forest with no path and no map, but you have instinct and faith. Can you find your way out? Riya thought and replied, Yes, if I trust myself and keep moving with courage. The man nodded. Next riddle. If you have one uncertain chance and fear stops you, will you take the risk? Riya answered, Yes. If I don't, I'll never know what could have been. Again he nodded. Final riddle. If to escape you must leave behind the one you love the most, will you still go? Tears welled up in Riya's eyes. She looked at Shadow. No, he's not just a dog. He's my family. If I must leave him, I won't go. The cave glowed bright. The old man smiled. You have passed. This forest only frees those with true love and courage. You did not abandon love. You chose loyalty. You are free. The cave disappeared. She was back in the forest clearing. The path had reappeared, and her way home was visible through the trees. Shadow barked joyfully. We did it, Shadow. Riya hugged him tightly. As they walked forward, Riya saw a piece of paper fluttering in the wind. Riya smiled, and the wind gently swept through the trees. Feeling the thrill of triumph, Riya couldn't contain her joy as the world around her seemed to celebrate with her. Her best friend rushed over, eager to join in the celebration, their laughter echoing through the joyful atmosphere. As they relaxed in the warmth of the sun, the friends savored their victory, cherishing every moment together. In that serene moment, Riya found beauty in the little things around her, as she and her friend enjoyed the simplicity of nature.